Hello, watching Vnews Bulletin. Bang from North, another headlines as usual.
Lawmakers concerned about income for public sector workers. U.S. Senator pledges more contributions to the tie with Vietnam. And later on, ASEAN foreign ministers hold special meeting on Myanmar.
The fourth session of the 15th National Assembly continued its sitting in Hanoi on October 27th, with important issues being put on the table.
Some legislators have pointed out the need to pay due attention to income and the working environment for civil servants and public employees amid a recent wave of worker resignation. They called for an appropriate and flexible pay scheme in which wages are paid based on workers' labor and knowledge values, sense of responsibilities and performance results. Statistics show that from 2020 to June 2022, nearly 40,000 cadres, civil servants and public employees resigned, especially in health and education sectors. Salary hikes in this sector are also conducted slowly since they are bound by legal regulations and dependent on the government's budget's balance capacity. In fact, salaries and incomes in the public sector are much lower than in others, the lawmaker said, recommending raising basic wages so that civil servants and public employees have more momentum to work.
Senator Patrick Leahy, President pro tempore of the U.S. Senate, has pledged to further contribute to the Vietnam-U.S. relationship even when he retires. During his recent visit to the Vietnamese embassy in the U.S., Leahy said he will continue working to maintain and promote cooperation between the two countries in the settlement of war consequences. He suggested enhancing exchanges between young generations of the two countries, saying this is the best way to strengthen the bilateral friendship. Leahy and his spouse expressed their special feelings towards Vietnam, saying they're always happy to visit the Southeast Asian nation and meet with friendly and open Vietnamese. Ambassador Nguyễn Quốc Dũng affirmed that Vietnam appreciates the contributions by the senator to the process of reconciliation and promotion of the bilateral relations. Vietnam always welcomes the senator and his wife back to Vietnam when possible, Dũng said, calling on Leahy to continue his support and contributions to the bilateral relationship while helping with the building of a network of friendship parliamentarians. Foreign ministers of ASEAN countries held a special meeting in Jakarta, Indonesia on October 27th to deliberate on ways to better implement the 5-point consensus on Myanmar's situation, which was endorsed by the ASEAN leaders meeting on April 24, 2021.
At the gathering, top regional diplomats exchanged extensive views on how to further strengthen the implementation of the 5-point consensus to have solved Myanmar's crisis. They also gave opinions on the need to resume Myanmar's full and normal engagement with ASEAN, the importance of continuing ASEAN's community's building efforts without disruption, and the ways to facilitate and expedite the deliveries of the humanitarian assistance to the people of Myanmar. The participants agreed that ASEAN should not be discouraged, but even more determined to help Myanmar to bring about a peaceful solution the soonest possible.
A digital exhibition named Vietnam's Hoàng Sa Trường Sa Historical and Legal Evidence opened at Bắc Bình District High School in the South Central Province of Bình Thuận on October 27th. The event aims to popularizing documents and evidence affirming Vietnam's sovereignty over Hoàng Sa Paracel and Trường Sa Spratly among teachers and students. With clear evidences, the exhibition helped improve their knowledge about the country's history and sovereignty over seas and islands. At the same time, it contributed to raising their awareness and responsibility of the national building and defense. Dương Tu, Deputy Director of the Provincial Department of Information and Communication, said that in the 1,000-year history of the nation, the sea and islands have been playing a particularly important role. Each student should become a communicator to help everyone understand and jointly safeguard the nation's sea and islands, he added. The Vietnam News Agency has been re-elected to the executive board of the Organization of Asia-Pacific News Agencies known as OANA. As a proactive member over the years, it has made great contributions to OANA's development.
Joining in 1969, the Vietnam News Agency is among the active members of the organization, hosting OANA executive board meetings in 1989, 1999, 2005, and 2019, and contributing to the implementation of the organization's goals. Through OANA's media channels, the Vietnam News Agency has promoted the party and state's policies, as well as images of Vietnam and its people with international friends.
Journalists must be creative to deliver news in the new situation. I think that what Vietnam News Agency brought to the meeting benefits us all.
With representative officers in all 63 cities and provinces nationwide and 30 overseas bureaus in 5 continents, the Vietnam News Agency has a strong contingent of reporters working at home and abroad. That is a unique advantage that no other press agency in Vietnam possesses. The Vietnam News Agency has established bilateral and multilateral cooperative ties with more than 40 press agencies and prestigious press organizations such as AFP, Reuters, AP, TASS, and Kyodo. Its mainstream news items are posted on its partners' media channels, helping improve the efficiency of Vietnam's external affairs work.
According to the Civil Aviation Authority of Vietnam, the international passenger market has only recovered by about 50% compared to pre-pandemic levels, while some key markets still face difficulties. Negotiations on reconnecting flights to China are therefore being actively carried out.
Regular commercial flights between Vietnam and China have been suspended since the outbreak of COVID-19 in early 2020. Vietnam Airlines has been allocated a number of flights to China each month, but not in the usual commercial form. The Civil Aviation Authority of Vietnam also revealed that although some international markets have opened, travel demand remains low and the recovery has not been as expected, with only the Indian market seeing positive passenger volumes with a number of new routes.
The Philippines Department of Trade and Industry has decided not to impose safeguarding duties on high-density polyethylene imported from Vietnam.
The Philippine side concluded that Vietnam is not subjected to safeguarding duties as the country is on the list of developing countries with a negligible volume of import. According to the Ministry of Industry and Trade, the final decision was based on the Philippine Tariff Commission's investigation report. The safeguarding duties are normally applied in 3 years from the date of decision, with the tax rate reducing through years. However, the Department of Trade and Industry of the Philippines review and adjust the rate or the list of countries enjoying exemption if imports from these countries rise.
Vietnam National University, Hanoi, had 6 subjects listed in the World University Rankings by Subject 2023 by the Times Higher Education, 2 subjects higher than the previous ranking.
The subjects include business and economics, life sciences, computer sciences, engineering, physical sciences, and social sciences. Times Higher Education World University Rankings by subjects ranked 11 subjects of universities based on 3 data sources, results of surveys independently conducted by the Times Higher Education, the scientific publication database on the Scopus system under the publisher Elsevier, and data provided by the higher education institutions. The ranking results were evaluated based on 5 groups of criteria, including teaching, research, citation, industry income, and international outlook. The Vietnam National University Hanoi has increasingly shown its position in multidisciplinary training by being recognized for only 2 subjects in 2020 to 6 in 2023.
Vietnam's airports are expected to serve 100 million passengers this year, compared to the pre-pandemic level of 120 million recorded in 2019, according to the Civil Aviation Authority of Vietnam.
According to the Civil Aviation Authority of Vietnam, over 81 million passengers arrived at Vietnamese airports in the past 10 months. During the period, Vietnamese airlines carried 40 million passengers. The figure is expected to reach 55 million for the whole of this year. The domestic market grew strongly while the international market only recovered by about 50%. The reopening of the Indian market is considered a bright spot in outbound travel, with relatively positive passenger volume.
Hanoi has welcomed nearly 983,000 international tourist arrivals in the first 10 months, almost reaching the target of 1 to 1.2 million for the whole of this year.
The Municipal Tourism Department said, so far, 15.38 million visitors have chosen the capital city as their destination, rising more than fivefold from the same time last year. That includes 14.4 million domestic arrivals, up nearly fivefold. Tourism revenue is estimated at over $1.7 billion, increasing over 5 times year-on-year. In October alone, Hanoi has recorded about 1.51 million visitors, including 1.3 million domestic ones and 212,760 foreigners. It earned some 3.97 trillion Vietnam dong from tourism revenue, statistics show.
Kayak races along the Dal River, as well as walking races, have been held in the northern mountainous province of Hoa Binh to stimulate local tourism development.
60 athletes took part in the kayak races, while nearly 200 people joined the 4-kilometer walking race. The races aim to promote tourism in the district and build an image of Dal Bang district as a safe, friendly, and attractive destination, while at the same time mobilizing organizations and individuals to participate, cheer on the athletes, and raise funds for the environmental protection.
In accordance with the government's direction to develop Ho Bin Lake into a national tourism site in the province to 2035, we have focused on eco-tourism and recreational tourism, among others.
Such activities and events provide a premise for organizing annual kayak races on Hoa Binh Lake, promoting the natural beauty and unique culture of local ethnic minority groups while introducing Dal Bang district tourism to a large number of domestic and international tourists.
So we are very happy that we got invited, and we participated in kayaking, and it was our first competition, and I think we did very well.
These are important events to celebrate major holidays of the year and respond to the World Tourism Year 2022 and National Tourism Year 2023.
Vietnamese pair Phạm Thị Hương and Trương Hồng Thủy won the gold prize for their performance, Red Swing, at the 2022 International Circus Festival, which has been wrapped up recently in Russia.
According to Tong Ton Thang, Deputy Director of the Vietnam Circus Federation, the performance of the two female artists was highly evaluated by the event's board of jury for the harmony between music, costumes, accessories as well as skillful performance techniques. According to People's Artist Tong Ton Thang, the performance Du Sun received high appreciation from the jury, especially the unified harmony of music, costumes, props as well as skillful performance techniques. The award helps affirm the talent and position of Vietnam's circus art in the international arena, he said, adding that it is also a motivation for domestic circus artists to continue to work for the development of their art. The 2022 International Circus Festival was held from October 22-26 in Russia with the participation of delegations from 9 countries. This year's edition is exclusively for female circus artists.
And that's a wrap up our news bulletin. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.